Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all having a fantastic afternoon or whatever time it is in your part of the world. Hopefully the weather is treating you a lot better than it is here in Canberra. It's sunny, but the air is very, very icy, so it's very cold. So I thought before I go to hockey training, I will share a video with you all. This is not going to be so much a review. I am going to be talking about a few films, but it really is an appreciation video. Now this guy doesn't need any more attention because he is a genius amongst the horror/suspense genre. So chances are you've already seen all of his films, but for those of you who haven't, which is probably 1% of you, then yeah, I just wanted to talk about some of his films and ask you guys what your favourite film of this director was. Now, this director is Alfred Hitchcock. He needs no introduction. He is a master of the genre, and he is a very important player in the horror/thriller genre because he's pretty much what started this sort of thing. So yeah, recently I got the Hitchcock Icon Collection, which features 3 of his biggest films, Rear Window, The Birds, and Psycho. Previously I'd only seen Psycho, so I was really looking forward to seeing some more of his films. I'm a little bit ashamed that I haven't been into Hitchcock a little bit more, but got the Icon Collection, so I thought this is a perfect start. I watched all 3 films, and I just wanted to talk about them a little bit and just go on as to why I love Hitchcock's work and why he is so different. Why I consider this real, true horror and not so much the other classic sort of stuff. So basically, the 3 films, we've got Rear Window, which is basically like Disturbia. If you've seen the film Disturbia with Shia LaBeouf, then you are going to know what Rear Window is about because that was pretty much a remake. It was very, very similar. Rear Window, a guy is spying on his neighbours. He's got nothing better to do because he's broken his leg, and he comes across a neighbour that he thinks murdered his wife. But he can't prove this to the police because he hasn't got enough evidence. But he is determined to prove to everyone that this guy in fact murdered his wife. Now, you don't know exactly if he did or not. You have to wait till the end. But there is indications to suggest that maybe this guy is onto something. So the only person that believes him is his girlfriend. So they have to take it onto their own hands in order to capture what they think is a killer. The second film, The Birds, features a bayside town, and all of a sudden these birds start attacking the humans, and these attacks are becoming more and more frequent until, you know, things start getting really, really dangerous. And the explanation as to why they're attacking is not, you know, no one knows why these birds are doing what they do. And then you've got Psycho, the classic film where Norman Bates runs a motel. He lives with his mother in a mansion beside this motel. And when people come in to stay at this motel, this is where they get to know the real Norman Bates. So they are 3 very brief rundowns of these classic Hitchcock movies. So if you're one of the very few who haven't seen them, then please go out there and check these ones out as quickly as you can. Now, what I wanted to ask you guys is, what is your favourite Alfred Hitchcock movie? For me, hands down, the best movie I think he's ever made is The Birds. Now, closely followed by Psycho and then Rear Window. I just thought Rear Window was just a little tiny bit slow. It built suspense up very, very well. And don't get me wrong, I really liked the movie, but compared to the other 2, I thought that build-up was a little bit slower than the rest. Then you've got Psycho, which is a classic. I thought that was brilliant. I really, really enjoyed it, as I did when I first saw it. And then you've got The Birds, and I actually think The Birds stands alone by itself. I thought this was a classic example of suspense done at its very, very finest. Hitchcock really shows his abilities in this movie. This is without a doubt his masterpiece, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, Psycho, very, very good, but I think The Birds is his #1 film. I just loved every minute of that. I only got finished watching it a few hours ago, and I loved it. And, you know, that it's a very dated sort of film, but the special effects that Hitchcock used just shows you that this is a guy that was ahead of his time. It really, a very, very smart filmmaker, and that's why I appreciate his work so much. Each and every film is different from the other. He is not a one-trick pony. He doesn't use the same trick twice. And all 3 of the films are completely different from each other, and it shows that this guy's got so much creativity, and he is willing to raise the bar as far as film standards are concerned. To me, this is true horror. When you compare it to films like Halloween and Friday the 13th, I consider them popcorn horror, and I think they're much easier to make than Alfred Hitchcock sort of horror, and that is suspense. Creating something that is not there, and it crawls under your skin, and before you know it, you're hooked. And that's exactly what happened to me with all three of his films. I was hooked. And even if it was a very slow build-up, everything was done for a reason, and it was just superbly done. And you think it's going a little bit slow, but then you realise it was necessary for the payoff. And that's, I cannot praise this guy enough. He really does. He is the reason why I love suspense. And a lot of people have tried to follow in his footsteps, but they have failed. Don't get me wrong, there are some good suspenseful movies out there, but no one comes close. I mean, this guy is a true genius of the cinema world. I know a lot of people have their cinematic heroes, I guess you could say, as to why you got into things. Hitchcock is the reason why I got into horror, because I saw Psycho a long, long time ago, because my dad was a huge fan of Psycho. So I watched it when I was really young, and I was really scared by it. These days, it doesn't scare me as much, but I can still appreciate a good horror film when I see it, and this is certainly one. But for me, as I said, The Birds stands alone. It is one of the best suspenseful movies ever told, if not the best. And if you haven't seen it and you want to know what real horror is all about, please check out The Birds. So, my question for you guys, why do you love Hitchcock, and what is your favourite Alfred Hitchcock movie? Alright guys, that's it for my video. I hope you found this interesting. I'll be doing a review sometime in the very near future, so until then, take care of yourselves, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later.